Yo, what's up guys, welcome to the Wrath Termination DLC escalation. This is the final 7 Deadly Sins DLC escalation. So this isn't going to be a straight up walkthrough per se. Because of the way it's designed, I can't give you a straight up 100% stealth walkthrough. That's just not how this is going to work. Because it's mostly all action and you have to kill everybody, I'm going to give you basically straight up tips and let the gameplay play in the background and give you my train of thought and progress of what I came up with at the time, and give you basic tips on how to basically beat these as easy as possible. So for level 1, you have to protect 47's physical body, and it'll make more sense when you see the briefing. Enemies do not provide disguises, so you can't pick up any disguises on this particular escalation at all. Non-target kills don't affect your score, so you can kill everybody and still get Silent Assassin. You can't just change disguises, and you have nothing in your loadout when you start off the mission. I'm going to play you the briefing, and then I'm going to restart for consistency. So I'm going to show you the briefing, then I'm going to restart the mission, and then skip the briefing. And I'm going to do that on each and every single level, just to give you a heads up and the timing. So I've left the timer at the top of the screen if you want to follow along as well, and I'm going to give you my basic tips. So here's level 1.
But don't worry, I am here. I've always been here for you. Felt yearning to let go, and deep desire to unleash your wrath. Now is the time. They are coming for you. Inhibitors have been deployed to keep you subdued. You must do everything in your power to destroy them. Now go!
So from the very start of the mission, you're going to be in this dreamlike sequence. This is between levels of Mendoza and Carpathian Mountains when the 47 is in that dream state. So we have to stop the inhibitors from giving 47 more, keeping them under basically. So we're going to have to stop that from happening. So we're going to grab everything we did in the room, which is the wrench, the screwdriver, the machete, and we're going to grab everything from that room as well. We're also going to grab that combat knife from the table like we did. We're going to come into this room here and turn on this radio to start the wave immediately. We're not going to bother setting off any traps or anything like that yet, but we are going to go and we are going to set one up, but we'll get to that. But overall, this entire level 3 levels of this guide isn't going to be based around too many traps. We're going to utilize some of them, but overall they're not very strong. I mean, I could wait for them to find out all the paths and stuff like that, but I don't think it's necessary. But the key thing to this whole entire thing, here's the trap here, use the fuse on this. The key thing to this escalation here is throwing knives, throwing screwdrivers, throwing any kind of lethal throw, basically. Pick as many lethal throws up as you possibly can, because they are going to be your best friend throughout this entire escalation. All 3 levels is going to be your best friend. Grab that hobby knife there, grab the pool ball, grab the hammer. Any melee item you can pick up, grab them, because the more the merrier. Here's another knife over here, so you should have 3 knives on you at the moment. So that's 2 combat knives, a hobby knife, and a screwdriver. So that's 4 lethal throws on this at the moment. We're going to intercept the first inhibitor. The inhibitors are the ones that are highlighted in red. The ones that are highlighted in red are going to drop weapons, whether it be a rusty nail, a rusty crowbar, or a shuriken. They're going to drop something. We're going to wait for these 2 guys to go past. We're going to take out the one from behind, throw the knife at the inhibitor's head, and then throw the knife at the other one's head. Grab the knife, grab the rusty nail that he drops on the floor, retrieve the knife you threw at this guy's head, and now we can intercept this second team. So they'll be on the stairs over here, so we're going to throw the knives at these heads as well. So you can bomb rush them and throw them at the head if you want to, or you can get behind this door like I did here and chuck it at their head one by one. It depends on how risky you want to be. You don't have to be this soft about it. You can just go and rush in if you want to. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. Use a machete on the third one. So again, the inhibitor's going to drop something on the floor, so whether it be a rusty crowbar or a rusty nail or something like that, go ahead and pick them up. He should have dropped the crowbar, but I don't think I picked it up, because when I was coming to this room here, if you break open the second box, the box that's closest to you right now, the crate that's closest to you right now, it has 2 proximity explosives in it. And that can be very, very useful if you have that, but I forgot to pick it up, so rip me. But they do come in handy. But we're going to wait for that a little bit later on. There's the rusty crowbar there. Now we've got it, I can go and get those explosives I was talking about. So he did drop it. So like I said, we're going to break open this second crate here and grab the 2 proximity explosives that are inside. So there's 1, 2, yoink. And we're going to set up 2 traps. We're going to set up one near the main entrance, and we're going to set up one right here. So we're just going to put a proximity explosive on this gas canister. And we're going to place one just around here. Let's go ahead and drop it. Now we're on wave 2. We are going to intercept the first team. The first team is going to be on the north side. They're going to be the first ones in the house. That's where you want to get to first. So here they're going to come. In the meantime, you can just set up a couple of traps if you want to. Break open that barrel to save it for a little bit later. There's going to be a battery in here if you want to use it. And throw it in that puddle. That's one trap set up. And we're going to select the combat knife and get behind these enemies. And once they all go past, one by one, go ahead and take them out. Stay crouched as you're throwing these items. It's a lot faster when you throw them by crouching. So once you're crouched, when you throw it, you throw the items a lot faster than you would if you were standing up. Next are going to be 2 guards in this room here. So again, stay crouched as you're throwing them at the head. Make sure you are retrieving the weapons as you are after you've killed them and taken them out. Now there's going to be 2 of them at this door. So we're going to wait for them to come in and then one by one throw the knives at their head. Make sure to pick up any item that the inhibitor drops on the floor as well as your knife. Don't give them a chance to take you down. Just grab whatever you can. So I've got 2 rusty nails now. So we're collecting quite a few bits of things now we've got on us. You can set this trap up here as well. We'll come back to that a little bit later on, but you may as well do it. Now that's taken out a couple of the targets. If it doesn't, you can just clear them up by taking the rest of them out with the knives. Again, it's best to stay crouched when you're throwing these. You can throw them a little bit faster than I am here. So another room has just opened up for us now the wave's complete. So we're going to take advantage of that and go up there, because it does contain the best goodies in there. So we've got quite a few good things now on us. You can also come over here in this room over here if you want to. So if you use a rusty nail on this door, you can get in here and check out what's in here. You can use the shotgun if you want to. There's going to be a shotgun right here. I mean, ultimately I grabbed this, but I don't actually end up using it. Another folding knife, again, is a very, very valuable item. All that's going to be in that crate right there is going to be some fuses, so I wouldn't recommend opening that or wasting it. So what we're going to do now is just wait around for the third wave, and then we're going to intercept the guards. So you can skip the waves if you want to. If you go back up to that main room that we did at the start, you can skip the wave if you want to, but it will take longer for me to go upstairs and skip it than it would be if I just waited around, so that's what I'm doing. So the first set of enemies, it's going to be the first ones getting in the house, is going to be over here. So we're going to climb through this window and intercept them. So what we're going to do is stay crouched behind this little wall right here. It's very dark. Take him out with a combat knife. Stay behind the wall again. Again, it's very dark. You probably won't be able to see this on the video. But one by one, take them all out nice and stealth-like. Again, retrieve anything that the inhibitor drops on the floor. I missed the rusty crowbar there, but never mind. But we're going to grab the combat knife again, like we did from his body, and we're going to intercept the next team. There should be more coming through this area here. Here he is. And more coming through this section here. So let's take out this guy first in this main room. Now to these 2 over here. Same thing we did with wave 1 and 2. I'm getting a little bit more impatient now, so as you can see. So I'm just basically bomb rushing them now. But you can sponge some shots, so don't worry too much about it. If there's only 2 of them, I wouldn't even worry about it. I'll just go in and bomb rush them. So there's the explosions coming in handy there. Any enemies that get knocked out, make sure you are taking them out with the shurikens and the knives and stuff like that. If anyone's knocked out, you can knock them out. You can just snap their neck if you want to, and that stuff as well. Again, for this section here, there's a lot of guards in this section, but we're using the shurikens and finishing them off with any lethal melees that we have on us. You don't have to be this aggressive. You can sit back a little bit and wait for them to come to you, because I was a little bit aggressive there, and you don't have to be that aggressive if you don't want it. It's completely up to you. But once you've done all that and you've beaten all 3 waves and you've still got the green gun symbol at the bottom left next to your minimap, then you'll see that you've got Silent Assassin still. That means I've taken everybody out on this mission, and now you can head to the exit. The exit is actually going to be where you started off the mission, so it's where 47's body is going to be, lying on the gurney. So once you get there at the end of the mission, and there you go. But as you can see, because of the chaos that's happening here, like I said, I can't do a full stealth kind of normal, traditional kind of walkthrough that I normally would do. So I can only give you my general train of thoughts and process that I'll go into it, and my main bits and tips are here and there for each level. Now each level does get progressively harder because the more enemies start spawning, but yeah, there is a couple of slight changes there. So level 2, same objectives, nothing's changed in terms of the objectives themselves.
Line 47, giving it to your inner range. That's when I'm your only true friend. Now go! There are more coming! Send them all to hell!
So we are spawning in the same room again, but we are now going to get the rusty nail and the little bear thing there. We're going to grab everything we got off the floor, and we're going to use the rusty nail on this little cabinet here to the left. I'm going to get the screwdriver out of it. That's the most important item there. We don't care about the fuse really. Got the car battery just to have it. It's a nice fast melee as well. Also going to grab the knife that's on this bed. Again, throwing lethals are very, very important. We're going to start the wave off by skipping it, by going in here, turning on this radio and starting the wave. Next we're going to go and intercept the first team, but we are going to retrieve some more lethal throws before we do that, as we're passing through this room anyway. So I'm going to come across this landing. We're going to skip that barrel. We don't need to set up that trap. You can do that in second wave. Be a lot more easier. So the hobby knife is going to be over here to grab that. So we have another lethal throw. We're going to get the other combat knife a little bit later on, but for now we're going to intercept this first team. So stay crouched. Take out the cleaver because it's the slowest lethal throw. Stay crouched as you're throwing it. As soon as you've killed one of them, immediately go into your inventory and select the next lethal throw. And one by one you should take them out quite straightforward like that. Make sure you are crouched as you're throwing it for faster throw. And as soon as you've thrown it, go straight into your inventory to select the next one. So you can do it as fast as you can. Now you've taken all 4 of them out and picked up whatever the inhibitors dropped on the floor. We can now move on to the next section. We're going to set up this trap right here with this barrel. Chuck the battery on that floor there. Let's set that up. There's going to be 3 enemies outside. We're going to select our cleaver that we picked up earlier. Throw out the first one's head, immediately select the screwdriver or whatever the lethal melee you got next in the list, and again, bish bash bosh. Retrieve everything that you thrown at them and whatever the inhibitor dropped, and now we can move on to the targets at the main entrance. So they should be entering the house just about now. Take out the target in the middle with the slowest melee, which is going to be the cleaver again. Stay crouched, and then one by one, using this cover as your piece of cover right here to your advantage, one by one, taking each and every one of them out. Nice and easy. Straight up. Simple. That's the first wave down. Retrieving all the weapons that they dropped as well, and all the weapons that we've thrown at them. We can now move on to setting up the next wave. So we're going to head upstairs now. We have a rusty crowbar on us, and we're going to go and get those 2 explosives that we got from level 1. So they're just going to be in here. They're not going to be moved or anything like that. They're still in here. So we're going to break open this crate, grab the 2 proximity explosives, grab the machete, going to grab that fuse and grab the battery. Just grab everything you can. Once we've done that, we can now set up some traps. We don't really need the battery, I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to place the proximity on this gas canister. I'm going to place the other explosive in the middle of the area. Make sure there's no bodies around, otherwise it will trigger. I'm going to set up this trap here as well, because why not? Place the fuse in here. And we're now going to intercept the first team. I'm going to get my knife first, of course. I completely forgot about this. I need to retrieve this knife. So the more lethal throws, the better. Especially when there's going to be more enemies spawning now than before. But you do have a little bit of extra time. So that's the reason why I went back and went to go get it. So we're going to intercept this guy first. He's always way ahead of his two mates. So we're going to grab that knife from his head that we just threw at him. And quickly intercept these two guys. We should have 2 combat knives. So that's 1, 2, nice and easy. Grab whatever he's dropped. Which is, in my case, is going to be a shuriken. And now we have 2 combat knives and a shuriken as well. So lots of lethal throws to play around with. Now we need to intercept the second team. So this is the same order you're going to be doing it every single round and every single wave. Keep doing it in the same order. This is the way they all swarm in. So it'll always be the same route. So just keep that in mind, the route I'm taking here. I've set that trap up there a little bit earlier. So one of them is going to get electrocuted. The other one, we're going to throw a knife at him. Make sure you don't get yourself electrocuted. Now we need to intercept these 2 guards here before they come in the room. That's 1. And 2. Again, retrieve whatever they drop off the floor and everything that you've thrown at them. There we go. Another target's been blown up there, so we can now take out the other 3 guards that are with him. 1, 2. Pick up everything that he's dropped. And 3. Make sure you retrieve everything. There we go. Now we can intercept the final team. Not sure why that didn't kill him. So that's 2. Machete, that's a very slow melee. There's 3 enemies outside left. You don't have to rush this. You can take your time, wait for them to come in if you want to. I should have waited, really. That was my mistake a little bit here. But this is why I'm giving you advice over this. So I'm just going to wait a little bit. Now they've got their backs to me. Give me a little bit of an opportunity, a little bit of a window. So because they're in this alert phase, it's like I said, it's very difficult to give a straight up walkthrough. Because when they're in this alert phase, they're doing different things and going different places. Don't know what that guard was doing. But yeah, the final room is to open. This is going to be like the room where the dead body is in it from the main mission. What we're actually going to do is go up there and have a look-see, because there's some nice goodies in there. So make sure you have retrieved everything that you've thrown at them and everything they've dropped. And now we can head to that room now. So in this room is going to be a lot of some good stuff. So we should be able to get 4 explosives and a pistol. If we've retrieved everything off the floor. So that's 1 crowbar used. So 2 proximity explosives in here. We use a rusty old nail in this one. So there's a proximity and a remote explosive in here. So that's 3 proximities and a remote duck. I should have had a rusty nail. I didn't pick it up, but if you use a rusty nail, you can use a rusty nail on that. I obviously didn't pick everything up that all the inhibitors dropped. But you should have had a second rusty nail there to open that. And you would have got a silver baller. It isn't silenced, but it's better than nothing. So let's set up some traps then, shall we? So we're going to set one up over here outside, I think. Over here. So that's 1. There's going to be another group coming through here, so I'm going to set it up here. Just put that one there. Going to be another one from through here as well, so I'll just put that there as well. So just set the traps up anywhere where you think the enemies are coming from. So we're going to intercept this first team as well. This is the 3rd wave now, and again it's always this team that comes in first. So we're swapping between melees. I shouldn't have used the machete 3rd because that was a very slow melee. Again, retrieve everything that they drop on the floor. Come into this room here. we're doing this in every single round, as you can tell. It's a pattern. Take out these two. And as you might have guessed, there's two of them at the window, so we're going to take them out now. Here they are. Screwdriver. Retrieve it. Take out this guy here. Drops a rusty crowbar on the floor. Now we need to intercept that other team. Over here. Again, anyone that's knocked out, make sure you are taking them out, snapping the neck or throwing the lethal melee at them. These explosives aren't very powerful in this game. They don't tend to kill very well. They tend to just knock their enemies out because their blast radius isn't that large. So take out the remaining enemies in this area. Just a couple more left. This guy out here, and there's one knocked out on the floor. And once we've taken him out, we should get our green guns symbol. There we go. There's Silent Assassin. So all we've got to do now, head back to the exit where the start location was, and there we go. Silent Assassin for level 2. So hopefully these tips are actually helping. I'm not sure if they are or not though. You have to give me some sort of feedback in the comments, because I didn't know another way of actually showcasing this escalation. I didn't really. I initially said I wasn't going to do this because I said on Twitter that I'm not going to do this because I couldn't think of a way of doing a straight walkthrough for it. So this is the only alternative I had, is to give some gameplay and some tips and tricks along the way. So level 3 is where it gets a little bit more tricky, but the ejectors haven't changed, it's all the same, and I'll go into it in a little bit more detail in a second.
I love the berserker in you. And really have a taste for blood. Ready for the next wave? Of course you are. Now destroy them all.
So level 3, you start out with more restrictions, so there's less. We don't have a screwdriver at the start. That's a big loss for me. I like the screwdriver there because it was quite a handy tool. It was another lethal melee, so you get a little bit less options at the start, but we are still going to retrieve the knives as much as possible. The enemy types are a little bit more stronger now, so they're now all wearing armor, and they are the same sort of guards that are in Carpathian Mountains on the intersection of the train. And they are bullet sponges, so I do not recommend going for the weapons, the guns, I should say. Lethal melees are still the way to go. So we started the wave there, and for wave 1, we have 4 inhibitors. So yeah, it's going to be a lot more tough than it used to be. It can get a little bit chaotic, but you have to just stick with it and follow the same paths as I've been showing you in level 1 and level 2. So make sure you're picking up all the lethal melees along the way. A combat knife over here as well. So you should have 2 combat knives on you now, and 1 hobby knife. So you have at least 3 melees right now. First team is going to come through this section. We're going to select the combat knife, stay crouched. Let's throw 1 knife, throw the second knife, and finally the third knife. So that's 3 targets down. There's 1 less target than there was in the previous level. However, they are stronger because they have armor on and stuff like that. So make sure you are retrieving everything you threw at them and anything that the inhibitors dropped. The next 2 are going to be in this room right here, so we are going to knock him out with the battery. This one. Bop. And bop. Snap their neck. Retrieve whatever the inhibitor dropped. Next set is going to come through this room here. We're going to use the battery because it's a fast melee. It's the only reason why we're using it at the moment. So we're going to go and snap their neck. snap the neck, and snap the neck. Retrieve whatever he drops, and move on to the next section, which is going to be through here. We're going to stop them from going up the stairs, because we don't want that to happen. Stay crouched as you're throwing these lethal melees. Use the cover to your advantage. If you run out of lethal melees, use your hammers or whatever other knockout weapons you have, and then proceed to snap their neck after. So that's one wave down. So now we can move on to the second wave. So we're going to go and just get a few things first. So we are going to go upstairs now and get some proximity explosives, because we can set up a couple of traps with that. Where am I? There we go. So it's going to be in this room here. So the first crate is going to contain the 2 proximity explosives. We're going to use that. Grab the Jambier that's on the corner. So that's another extra lethal melee that we have for us. And also another battery. And what we're going to do now is to set up some traps and stuff like that. So the first trap we're going to set up is using this gas canister here. So we're going to put the proximity on the gas canister right there. The second one we're going to place, because there's dead bodies here, we're going to have to put it outside. So I'm just going to drop it there. And we're going to intercept the first team. It's always going to be, the first team is always going to come up right over here on this side. And because we're quite far ahead, we can actually intercept them quite early, which is good, because it gives us more time to get to the next couple of teams. Again, retrieve the knife. These are very, very accurate as well. They're using a shotgun from very long range. And because he's not coming towards me, it is a little bit frustrating, because you want them to come towards you, because they're just wasting their time. They're wasting your time, more importantly. He drops a rusty crowbar, so we'll grab that. Grab the knife that we threw at his head. And we can try and quickly intercept the next team. So, come through this room right here. There should be 2 guards in here. Take out these 2 guys here. Take the knives back off them. Take out that guard there. So because this they're a little bit quicker and they're a bit more aggressive, it can get a little bit tricky. Like I said, you just have to keep going and keep working around the same area that I'm working. Because if you intercept their teams in the wrong order, then you're going to lose. You're going to let them upstairs, which you don't want them to let upstairs. Because if you let them get to your body, it's mission over. So we are intercepting them right now, one by one. Don't know what happened to this guy. So he's dropping a bunch of things as well. So throw the shuriken at his head, boom. This takes care of level 2. So wave 3 is going to unlock this room up here, which is the main room where the dead body is in the main mission. So in there we're going to retrieve some goodies. And then we're going to set up some traps. And for wave 3 on level 3, I do recommend just gatekeeping the stairs and stopping them from coming up the stairs. It's pretty much your best bet for survivability. Otherwise, if you try and take them head on, because there's so many of them, you're more than likely going to get killed. So I would recommend trying to gatekeep the stairs as much as possible if you are getting overwhelmed. Just to stop them from getting up the stairs. So we're going to retrieve the 2 explosives from there. So that's 2. Use the lockpick on here so we can get a pistol out of it. There we go. Unlock this one here, so we have another proximity and a remote explosive. So we have a pistol, 3 proximities, and a remote explosive. You can pretty much put them anywhere you feel like putting them to intercept the enemies. But you can put them where I'm putting them if you want to. They might not be the best places though. So I'm going to intercept the first team over here first, as usual. Because at the start of every wave, these enemy team comes up here first. I'm going to set up a trap here for the gas canister. I'm not sure if that was the best idea. I don't think it was very effective, if I remember correctly. But you can intercept that team the same way we did in wave 2 if you'd like. I just wanted to get a little bit ahead so I can take out these guys pretty quickly. So these two are nice and easy to take out. So make sure you are retrieving everything they drop as well. Remember, retrieving your knives is super important. So because they heard gunshots and stuff like that, there's a few enemies coming over here to try and take me on. Again, this can look a bit chaotic and a bit of a mess, but you know, it's controlled chaos, as I can call it. Because I don't want them to get upstairs. I want them to be focused on me. If they are going to be aggressive, I want them to be aggroed towards me, not upstairs. We are working our way around, and I'm realising I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed, so I'm going to stay up here and gatekeep these stairs a little bit. So what I'm going to do is set up some proximities on these stairs. I shouldn't have thrown it really like that. It should just drop them, because otherwise it slides into the corner, as you can see right here. I don't do this, because it's in the corner, it's now useless. So you want to drop it in the middle of the area, really, or on the corner. And I should have thrown one in the middle of this room as well. I was a bit too late. But these explosives aren't particularly great anyway, because they're quite weak. Like, that exploded right next to him and it didn't kill him. So I'm going to try and throw some knives from up here if we can. Also tried shooting this as well. That didn't work either. I was failing at this point. And as you can see, they're bullet sponges. Just gatekeep these stairs, make sure they don't get up. There's only 2 ways of getting up here, so... Well, there's more, but you can tell when they're coming up in different staircases. Knives are your best friend. Throwing melees are your best friend. So if anyone gets knocked out, which from these, so this is, yeah, is this guy not knocked out by my explosive? Just make sure you are snapping the neck if you still want silent assassin rating. So I'm using my instinct a lot to keep my track on all the enemies. I don't think there's that many left. I believe there's about 3 left now. So there's 1 inhibitor taken out. And I can't see anyone else around apart from these over here. So we're going to go take them out quickly. And that should end the wave. And that should end the mission, really. So there's a lot less enemies than I anticipated. But yeah, if you really want to make sure you can get through it, then just gatekeep the stairs and you'll be able to get through them. Again, stay crouched as you're throwing the melee. And there we go. That was the final target, so all we've got to do now is head back to the start location and jobs are good. Overall, I didn't like this escalation. I thought it's very anti-Hitman. This is not what Hitman is. You're taking the element of doing what we want. You know, why can't we bring our own items into this? It would make it a lot better. We can't use disguises. Again, that's basically literally what the game's all about, using disguises, social stealth. We can't do that. With all the escalations that they've chosen to do this year, they've removed these. We've removed all our toys from us, and they've removed all our disguises opportunities from us. They want us to do everything suit only with no equipment, and I'm not sure why they're doing that, because that's just simply not fun. Having the freedom of using anything we want to is fun, but doing it this way, being this restricted, isn't fun, and they missed an opportunity there, in my opinion. But that is how I got Silent Assassin. Hopefully these tips have helped you out through all these 3 levels. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you think of this Wrath escalation of the DLC. Let me your thoughts on the let me your thoughts in the comments about the quality of the video. If you liked it in this way, or if I helped you out, drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new to the channel, hit the bell notification to be notified of all future videos and live streams. Consider supporting me on Patreon or becoming a member of the channel by clicking the join button below or click the link in the description. Big shout out to Arjal, Isaiah Blake, Paul Libby, Bedri, Mark Davis, Constantine Mueller and Cooley Lee. Going to top tier Psycho Assassin members, I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in Friday's Elusive Target.